Imagine holding in your hand a small coin that carries with it the weight of a nation's story, a coin that looks simple, yet it reflects deep history, politics, economics, and culture. This is the one Piso coin of 2007, a piece that may appear ordinary to the casual observer, but to collectors, enthusiasts, and historians, it is a fascinating window into the evolving identity of the Philippines and the story of how money not only serves as a medium of exchange, but also as a living testimony of national pride and transformation. The 1 Piso coin of 2007 is not just currency, it is a mirror of the Filipino spirit, and when you look deeper into its background, you begin to uncover the journey of a nation in transition to understand the 1 Piso coin of 2007. We must first step back into the broader history of Philippine coinage. Since the early Spanish colonial period, coins have been more than mere instruments of trade. They were tools of power, they symbolized authority, and they carried designs that reflected who controlled the archipelago from Spanish reals to American-era pesos, and eventually the independent coinage of the Republic. Every redesign carried meaning by the time we reached the 21st century. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, also known as BSP, had long been tasked with designing, producing, and regulating coinage to reflect both national heritage and economic functionality. The introduction of the 2007 1 Piso coin is tied to these principles. The 2007 1 Piso coin belongs to the new BSP series, which began circulation in 1995. This series replaced the earlier Flora and Fauna series and was meant to simplify coin designs while emphasizing national heroes and symbols of independence. By the mid-2000s, the Philippines was pushing forward modern economic reforms, battling inflation, and seeking to reinforce a stronger national identity through its currency. It was in this climate that the 1 Piso coin of 2007 emerged, continuing a design that had been in place since 1995, but minted with new production years and new circulation needs. On the obverse side of the 1 Piso coin, we find the bust of Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines. Rizal was not chosen randomly. His presence on the 1 Piso coin carries profound symbolism. He represents intellectual courage, reformist spirit, and the quest for freedom. His writings, Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, sparked the flames of revolution against Spanish colonial rule, placing him on the most widely used coin in the Philippines. Was a decision that aligned the daily act of spending money with a constant reminder of national sacrifice and enlightenment. Beneath his portrait, we find his name, Jose Rizal, etched clearly, and above him the issuing authority, Republica ng Pilipinas, along with the year of minting. In this case, 2007. Flipping to the reverse side, we see the seal of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, a logo that embodies financial stability and economic guardianship. Surrounding the seal is the text, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. This design choice highlighted the role of the central bank as the institution responsible for monetary authority. It reinforced the credibility of Philippine coinage in both domestic and international perspectives. The coin was circular in shape with a plain edge. Its metallic composition was made of nickel-plated steel, giving it a silvery appearance. This material was chosen for durability, cost efficiency, and resistance to corrosion, ensuring long circulation life. The 1 Piso coin of 2007 entered circulation at a time when inflation in the Philippines had made lower denominations like the 5 centimo and 10 centimo coins nearly obsolete. The 1 Piso became one of the most practical and widely used coins in daily transactions, from jeepney fares to market purchases, from vending machines to banking operations. The 1 Piso coin was in every hand and pocket across the country. This high circulation made it one of the most recognized symbols of Philippine currency. Collectors often point out that while the 2007 1 Piso coin follows the same design as its 1995 to 2017 counterparts, what makes it significant is its place in the broader narrative of Philippine economic history. It stands as one of the later issues before the BSP introduced the new generation currency coin series in 2018, which completely redesigned Philippine coins, removing heroes in favor of native flora and simplifying coin size and weight. The 2007 1 Piso thus belongs to the last full decade of the Rizal design, making it a historical bridge between two eras of Philippine coinage. Another key detail lies in mintage figures. While the BSP did not always release exact public data, on yearly mintage numbers, estimates suggest that millions of these coins were produced in 2007 to meet public demand. This widespread circulation makes the coin common, but its importance is not diminished. Common coins often carry the most cultural weight because they pass through the hands of millions every day, carrying with them silent stories of trade, livelihood, and survival. From a numismatic perspective, the 1 Piso coin of 2007 presents both ordinary and special features. Ordinary, because it was mass-produced for regular circulation. Special, because it represents a turning point in modern coinage. Collectors often note variations in strike quality, luster, and wear, especially when comparing circulated versus uncirculated pieces. Mint state examples can carry a modest premium, while circulated coins remain primarily of sentimental and historical value rather than monetary worth. To fully appreciate the 2007 1 Piso coin, we must also consider its socio-economic context. During this time, the Philippines was experiencing growth in certain sectors like business process, outsourcing, remittances from overseas, Filipino workers, and infrastructure development. Yet it also faced challenges in poverty, reduction, inflation, and governance. The first Piso coin was a silent witness to these realities. It changed hands in markets, offices, schools, and public transport every day, reflecting the rhythm of Philippine life in 2007. The design of the coin also carried forward an educational purpose. Younger generations handling the 1 Piso were constantly reminded of Jose Rizal, his role in history, and the values he represented in this way. The coin functioned almost like a miniature history book in metal, form an object that both served the economy and reinforced identity. As we stretch further into the details of this coin, we realize that even though it might seem small, it actually connects us to deep questions about what money means, how nations choose symbols to represent themselves, and how everyday objects carry extraordinary weight. The 1 Piso coin of 2007 is not rare. It is not gilded in gold or silver. It is not reserved for kings or elites. It is a coin of the people and for the people. Yet that is precisely why it is powerful. Its story is democratic. Its value lies in its ubiquity and its reminder that national pride can be found in the smallest things. When we compare the 2007 issue to earlier years of the same series, we see consistency in design, but subtle differences in mintage quality and circulation, where later years would continue this pattern until the eventual discontinuation of the series. This consistency tells us about the stability and practicality of coin production. At the time, it also reflects the balance between tradition and cost efficiency in monetary policy. In the long journey of Philippine coinage, the first Piso coin of 2007 stands as a middle chapter. Not the beginning, not the end, but a crucial part of the flow. A chapter that captures a decade of stability before sweeping changes arrived. It is a coin that may not scream rarity, but whispers endurance. It may not fetch astronomical auction prices, but it tells the honest story of a nation in 2007, one that was striving, building, and evolving, and through its presence in millions of hands, it became a silent companion to the daily struggles and victories of the Filipino people. What if I told you that a single coin in your pocket could carry the entire story of a nation, its leaders, its struggles, and its hopes for the future? Today, we are going to uncover the professional and detailed history of the 1 Piso coin from the year 2010 A coin that may look ordinary at first glance, but in reality holds the legacy of centuries of Philippine culture, politics, economics, and identity. The worn Piso 2010 coin of the Philippines is part of a fascinating chapter in the country's numismatic history, and it deserves a close look because every aspect of its creation, from the design to the material to the symbolism, represents more than just a monetary value. It represents a story of the Filipino people at the start of the second decade of the 21st century. The 2010 1 Piso coin belonged to the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas (BSP) coinage series, introduced in 1995, which was officially called the new BSP series. This series replaced the previous Flora and Fauna series, and it stayed in circulation for over 2 decades until it was eventually replaced by the New Generation Currency Coin series in 2018. The 2010 issue was therefore situated in the mature period of this coinage program, and it is important to understand why it looked the way it did, why it was minted in large numbers, and what cultural and economic role it played. The obverse or front side of the 1 Piso 2010 coin features the portrait of Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines, who symbolizes education, freedom, and reform. Rizal was chosen for the 1 peso denomination in the new BSP series because his legacy remains central to the Filipino identity. He was not a soldier nor a politician, but a writer and reformist whose works like Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo inspired the revolution against Spanish colonial rule. The placement of Rizal on the first Piso coin signifies his accessibility to every Filipino, since the first Piso is one of the most common and widely used coins in everyday life. In 2010, his image continued to remind millions of people about patriotism and the pursuit of progress through knowledge. The reverse or backside of the 1 Piso 2010 coin carries the logo of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. With the year of minting prominently displayed, the BSP logo is itself full of symbolism, featuring a stylized eagle, a sun, and a star, which represent strength, independence, and the guiding light of the nation. The 2010 coin, therefore, not only paid tribute to Rizal, but also reaffirmed the authority of the central bank in maintaining monetary stability and trust in the Philippine financial system. The year 2010 is especially interesting because it marked the transition between 2 Philippine presidencies. Gloria Macapagal Arroyo was leaving office and Benigno Aquino III was elected that year. This political backdrop influenced the circulation of coins and banknotes as new governments often push for changes in the symbols of money to reflect their vision. Although the design of the 1 Piso did not change in 2010, the minting continued strongly as the demand for small denominations remained high. From a technical perspective, the 1 Piso 2010 coin was struck in nickel-plated steel, giving it a silvery appearance. This composition was chosen by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas in the mid-1990s to balance cost, durability, and resistance to counterfeiting. Nickel plating provides corrosion resistance, ensuring the coins can survive. In circulation for many years, the diameter of the coin is 24 millimeters with a weight of around 535 grams, and it has a reeded edge. The choice of dimensions and weight was consistent with international standards and was intended to make the coin both durable and easily recognizable by touch, which is important for everyday transactions. The circulation of the 1 Piso 2010 coin was massive because in the Philippines, the 1 peso denomination plays a critical role in retail trade public. Transportation and daily exchanges, jeepney fares, market prices, and small purchases all often require 1 Piso coins. The BSP therefore ensured that the minting numbers were high enough to meet demand. This is why collectors today often find the 2010 issue to be very common. But that does not make it less interesting. In fact, the wide circulation means that nearly every Filipino who lived in that time period carried or handled this exact coin at some point, making it a true witness of the lives of millions. Historically, the worn Piso coin has evolved from Spanish colonial times when the peso was first introduced as the peso fuerte under the Spanish-Philippine real system in the 19th century, through American colonization when the peso was tied to the U.S. dollar and into independence when the Philippine peso became the sovereign currency of the nation. By 2010, the 1 peso coin represented stability. After years of inflation crises and reforms in the 20th century, the continued use of Rizal's image shows how the country values historical continuity, even as it adapts to the challenges of modernity. Another important detail about the 2010 1 peso coin is how it fit into the broader new BSP coin series. This series included coins from 1 centimo up to 10 peso each denomination, highlighting key Filipino heroes' symbols or values. The 1 peso coin with Jose Rizal occupied the central position because it was the most used coin in daily transactions, and Rizal himself represented enlightenment, education, and sacrifice. The decision to keep Rizal on the 1 peso coin from 1995 through 2017 reflects the deep cultural attachment to him as a national symbol. Collectors often analyze coins not only by design and mintage, but also by variations and minting errors. In the case of the 2010 1 peso, there are reports of minor errors such as off-centered strikes or slightly misaligned dies. Although these are rare, they can increase the value of individual coins for numismatists. However, for most people, the value of the 2010 coin remained its face value. Since billions were produced, the sheer scale of production shows the importance of coins in the cash economy of the Philippines in the years before the rise of digital payments economically. The role of the 1 peso coin in 2010 was connected to the overall inflation rate and purchasing power of the Philippine peso. While 1 peso could not buy as much as it did decades earlier, it still retained importance because many prices were structured to end in whole pesos or even exact peso amounts. The persistence of the 1 peso coin in the economy reflected the gradual pace of monetary evolution, as opposed to sudden demonetization or radical reforms that some other countries experienced. The BSP maintained the 1 peso because it was practical, essential, and tied to the habits of daily life. Culturally, the 1 peso coin was also a symbol of discipline and respect. Children were often taught to save using peso coins. In piggy banks, and families associated the coin with small but meaningful acts of thriftiness. Rizal's presence on the coin reinforced the idea that even small contributions can add up to national progress. His life was about sacrifice and education, and placing him on the smallest but most circulated coin created a symbolic message for every Filipino to embrace. By 2010, discussions were already emerging about the need for a new coin series because of counterfeiting problems, confusion in coin sizes, and the need for modernized designs, but the 1 peso coin continued to circulate until 2017, when the new BSP coin series was retired and replaced in 2018 with the new generation currency coin series. In the new series, Rizal was moved to the 5 peso denomination, and the 1 peso received a new design featuring the stylized Philippine flag, symbolizing a shift in how the nation presented itself to its people and the world. The 2010 issue therefore represents one of the last years in which Rizal remained on the 1 peso coin before being shifted to a higher denomination. For collectors today, the 1 peso 2010 coin may not be rare, but it is historically significant. It represents a bridge between two eras, the long-running new BSP series of the 1990s and 2000s and the modernized series of the late 2010s. It represents continuity and change. It represents tradition and modernization. And above all, it represents the story of how a small, round piece of metal can tell the big story of a nation. Imagine holding a small silver-colored coin in your hand, a coin that to many may appear ordinary and common, yet within its metal surface lies a story of heritage, identity, politics, economy, and the ever-evolving journey of a nation. This is not just a coin. This is the 1 Piso coin of the Philippines from the year 2012, a piece that carries not only the symbol of its people, but also the enduring mark of change, transition, and national pride. And in this story, we will unlock its history, design, significance, production, and the legacy it continues to leave behind. The 1 Piso coin of 2012 belongs to a series known as the New Generation Currency Series, which was introduced by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas to modernize the coinage of the Philippines and strengthen its national identity. The 2012 issue stands as a part of a wider currency reform that began in 2011 when the BSP launched a new family of coins and banknotes designed to combat counterfeiting and represent the progress of the nation. This particular coin represents one of the most used denominations in the Philippines and has traveled through countless hands markets, schools, transport systems, and everyday lives, carrying with it the silent voice of a country moving forward. The obverse side of the 1 Piso 2012 coin features the portrait of Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines. Rizal was a nationalist, a writer, a revolutionary thinker whose works inspired Filipinos to seek freedom from Spanish colonial rule. His portrait symbolizes bravery, intellect, and patriotism. The inclusion of Rizal on the coin is a reminder of his legacy and his place as one of the central figures in Philippine history. Alongside the portrait, the inscription reads Republika ng Pilipinas, and the year of minting 2012 proudly placed as a mark of national identity on the reverse side of the 1 Piso 2012 coin. The design showcases the logo of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, which symbolizes financial stability and authority. The logo emphasizes the role of the central bank in safeguarding the currency economy and monetary policies of the Philippines. This coin does not only circulate as a medium of exchange, but also as a representation of the strength and credibility of the nation's financial system. The metal composition of the coin is nickel-plated steel, giving it a silvery appearance that is resistant to wear and circulation damage. This change in material from older coins was part of the BSP's effort to ensure durability and cost-effectiveness in minting, since coins undergo massive usage in daily life. Compared to banknotes, the choice of nickel-plated steel also represented a modernization approach, aligning the Philippine coinage with international standards of minting. During that era, the 2012 coin was minted at the security plant complex of the BSP located in Quezon City. This complex is where the Philippines produces its own coins, a source of national pride and a step toward self-sufficiency. In currency production, in earlier years, coins were often minted abroad, but with the establishment of local facilities, the nation secured its ability to manage coinage production internally, ensuring consistency, security, and efficiency. The release of the new generation 1 Piso coin was not without controversy. Many citizens compared it to the 5 Peso coin, noting similarities in size and color that often caused confusion in transactions. This sparked debates on coin design practicality and the need for clearer distinctions between denominations. However, despite criticism, the coin continued to circulate widely, and by 2012 had become a staple in the wallets, pockets, and cash registers of Filipinos across the archipelago. The historical importance of the 2012 1 Piso coin also lies in its placement in the timeline of Philippine numismatics. The Philippines has undergone several monetary transformations, from the Spanish colonial reales and pesos to the American-era coinage, the Japanese occupation currency, the independence-era coins, and finally the modern series. The 1 Piso coin serves as a bridge between the older BSP series, known as the BSP coin series introduced in 1995, and the newer enhanced NGC series that followed. In 2018, thus, the 2012 issue stands as a snapshot of a transitional period in Philippine currency. Beyond economics, the coin carries cultural value. It is a reflection of how the Philippines honors its heroes and institutions by engraving them into daily life. Every person handling the coin is reminded of Rizal's enduring presence and the nation's journey toward progress. The physical coin becomes a teaching tool, a living history lesson, and a silent witness to the struggles and triumphs of its people. Collectors often pay special attention to the 2012 1 Piso coin because of its role in the early years of the new generation currency series. While it may not be rare in circulation, its significance comes from its placement in modern Philippine coinage history. Numismatists study varieties, errors, and mint marks, searching for unique pieces that may increase in value over time. Even a common coin can become a prized collectible when its story is understood and appreciated. Design of the 1 Piso 2012 coin was the result of careful planning by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, working with designers, historians, and technical experts. The goal was to create a coin that balanced durability, national symbolism, and practicality. The simplicity of Rizal's portrait combined with the central bank logo reflects a design language that is clean, modern, and functional. While carrying deep meaning, the emphasis was not on luxury or intricate art, but on accessibility and identity. As the 2012 coin circulated, it played a vital role in everyday Philippine life, from jeepney fares to sari-sari store purchases, from school canteen snacks to supermarket transactions. It became an inseparable part of the rhythm of daily living coins. Like the 1 Piso may seem small and insignificant, but they are the lifeblood of microtransactions, enabling economies to function at the grassroots level. The coin also became a topic of discussion when the BSP announced plans for future redesigns that would later lead to the enhanced NGC coin series launched in 2018, which changed the look, feel, and composition of Philippine coins. Thus, the 2012 1 Piso coin stands as one of the last representations of its kind before further modern adjustments were implemented, making it both historically important and numismatically memorable. When we look deeper into its value, we realize that a coin is never just about its face value of 1 Piso. It is about trust in a nation's economy. It is about the identity of a people. It is about continuity in history. And above all, it is about the connection between past, present, and future. The 1 Piso 2012 coin symbolizes all these elements in one small yet powerful piece of metal. So the next time you see or hold a 1 Piso coin from 2012, take a moment to appreciate the story. It tells it is more than just change. It is a symbol of change. It is the face of a hero, the emblem of a central institution, the product of national industry, and the companion of millions of Filipinos in their daily lives. Its history is living history, and its legacy continues with every exchange, every pocket, every hand that touches it. Imagine holding in your hand a small piece of metal that millions of people touch every single day without ever realizing the stories it carries. Imagine a coin so ordinary that it is often overlooked, yet it represents centuries of struggle, identity, change, economy, and national pride. This is not just a coin, it is the 1 Piso 2015 of the Philippines. A coin that tells us about heroes, about history, about politics, about economy, and about the journey of an entire nation through a simple round piece of metal. The 1 Piso coin of the Philippines from 2015 belongs to the new generation currency coin series, introduced by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas as part of a major modernization and standardization of Philippine coins. This was not a sudden decision, but rather the result of years of research, planning, and economic considerations. Coins in the Philippines have long been a reflection of the country's colonial past, its independence, its struggles with inflation, and its efforts to unify. A complex cultural and political identity, the 1 Piso 2015 coin became one of the most discussed coins of its time, not only because of its design, but also because of its symbolism circulation and the controversies it sparked. To understand the 1 Piso coin of 2015, we must first trace back the origins of Philippine coinage, long before Spanish colonization. Filipinos were already using barter trade with gold piloncitos, which were tiny bead-like coins and barter rings made from gold, when the Spanish arrived in the 16th century. They introduced Mexican reales, which circulated for hundreds of years. The Spanish colonial period marked the introduction of standardized coins that tied the local economy to global trade routes, especially the Manila galleon trade linking Asia to the Americas. After Spanish rule, the Americans arrived and introduced the peso currency system aligned with the U.S. dollar. 1 peso equaled 50 cents in U.S. terms. After World War II and independence, the Philippines regained control of its own currency, but the peso had to undergo constant changes due to economic instability. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas created several coin series over the decades, each one trying to balance national identity with practical needs. The English series came after independence. The Filipino series in the 1960s highlighted the shift to the national language. The Ang Bagong Lipunan series in the 1970s reflected the political climate under Ferdinand Marcos, and then the BSP series of the 1990s modernized coins once more. However, by the 2000s, it became clear that Philippine coins needed a redesign that would enhance security durability and national symbolism. This led to the birth of the new generation currency coin series. The 1 Piso coin of 2015 became the first widely circulated coin of this new generation series. It was minted in nickel-plated steel, giving it a silvery appearance, which made it more durable and resistant to corrosion compared to older versions. The obverse of the coin features Andres Bonifacio, the great plebeian known as the father of the Philippine Revolution against Spanish rule. His image is striking as he wears his traditional attire with a resolute expression representing bravery, leadership, and the common man rising against colonial power. This design choice was deliberate because previous Piso coins had featured heroes like José Rizal, but shifting to Bonifacio in 2015 marked a new emphasis on revolutionary leadership. The reverse of the 2015 1 Piso coin features the waling. Wailing, an orchid species considered one of the most beautiful flowers in the Philippines, symbolizing natural heritage alongside the BSP logo and the denomination. The decision to include flora alongside national heroes was part of the BSP's effort to balance culture, economy, and environment in coin design. The edge of the coin is plain, making it simpler compared to some earlier issues, which had reeded edges. This was done to reduce production costs while maintaining functionality. When it entered circulation, the 1 Piso 2015 coin was met with controversy because it closely resembled the 5 Piso coin in size, weight, and color. This caused confusion in markets, transportation fairs, and vending machines. People often mixed them up, and some businesses faced losses because of mistaken transactions. The public reaction was loud, with many complaining to the BSP, which eventually acknowledged the issue and promised clearer distinctions in future coin issues. Despite this, the coin remained in heavy circulation and became one of the most used coins in the nation. Beyond its everyday use, the 1 Piso 2015 coin represents deeper themes. It shows how money is not only a medium of exchange, but also a carrier of memory and national identity. Bonifacio on the coin reminds Filipinos of the sacrifices of the revolution, while the orchid reflects natural beauty and biodiversity. The use of steel reflects the global trend of cost efficiency in minting, and the controversy highlights the challenges of balancing practicality with tradition and public acceptance. Collectors view the 2015 1 Piso as historically important because it marked the transition from the older BSP series to the new generation, Series, though, it is not rare in terms of mintage. It holds significance as the first issue of its series, and because of the widespread confusion it caused, which itself became part of its story, minting errors, if any occurred in this year, would make those pieces even more valuable to numismatists. Over time, the 1 Piso 2015 coin will likely be studied as a case of coin design success and failure success because it modernized Philippine coinage and highlighted national heroes and flora. Failure, because it did not properly differentiate itself from the 5 Piso coin, leading to massive public confusion. Yet this dual legacy makes it more fascinating because coins are not just pieces of metal. They are tools of daily life subject to human behavior, economics, and even politics. To stretch this into a detailed 2-hour narrative, you would dive into the biography of Andres Bonifacio, his role in founding the Katipunan, his leadership, his conflicts with Emilio Aguinaldo, and his tragic death, all of which add depth to why his image was chosen for the coin. You would also explore the history of Philippine orchids and the cultural importance of the wailing. You would analyze the evolution of the Philippine peso over centuries, from gold barter to Spanish reals to American pesos to modern coins. You would cover the minting process of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, the materials used, the challenges of counterfeiting, and the decision-making behind coin redesign. You would highlight the public controversies through interviews, news clippings, and social media reactions, showing how a single coin can disrupt everyday life, and you would finally conclude with the importance of coinage as both a tool and a mirror of society. Thus, the 1 Piso 2015 coin is not just a small piece of metal. It is history, revolution, economy, culture, controversy, and national pride in your pocket. And every time someone hands you this coin, they are handing you centuries of struggle, beauty, and identity, compressed into 1 Piso. To understand its place, we must travel back to the earliest days of money in the archipelago before colonization. Ancient Filipinos were using barter rings and piloncitos made of pure gold. As a form of exchange, these small, rounded beads are considered the first true coins of the Philippines, and they symbolize the wealth of the islands and the advanced trading system long before Spanish ships arrived when Spain conquered the Philippines in the 1500s. The economy was reshaped by the galleon trade linking Manila and Acapulco for more than 200 years. Spanish reales and Mexican pesos became the dominant currency, creating a dependence on imported silver coins. Filipinos became familiar with foreign coinage, but also longed for their own. When the Americans came in 1898, after the Spanish-American War, they replaced the old system with a new peso that was tied to the U.S. dollar. The Philippine peso was given equal value to half a U.S. dollar, and coins were minted in San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Manila with designs featuring allegorical figures and national imagery. After independence in 1946, the Philippines began reclaiming control of its money, and the Central Bank of the Philippines, later transformed into the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, took responsibility for creating coinage. Each redesign reflected both cultural pride and political climates. By the 1960s, the Filipino series emphasized nationalism and the Filipino language. By the 1970s, the Ang Bagong Lipunan series reflected Marcos-era propaganda slogans. By the 1990s, the BSP series simplified designs for practicality, but by the early 2000s, many problems appeared. Coins were inconsistent in size, shape, and weight. They were easy to confuse in vending machines, and they did not fully represent the cultural richness of the nation. This is why the BSP launched the New Generation Currency Coin series, which included the 1 Piso 2015. The coin itself carries enormous symbolic weight on the obverse. We find Andres Bonifacio, born in Tondo, Manila, in 1863, the great plebeian who founded the Katipunan Secret Society and led the first phase of the Philippine Revolution against Spain, unlike José Rizal, who wielded the pen. Bonifacio carried the bolo, symbolizing the fight of the common man against colonial oppression. His inclusion on the worn Piso 2015 was deliberate, a recognition that the revolution he sparked laid the foundation for independence, placing him on the coin also elevated his memory, giving daily wage earners, jeepney drivers, students, vendors, and ordinary citizens a piece of Bonifacio's spirit. Each time they held the coin. On the reverse, the coin shows the wailing orchid, known scientifically as Vanda sanderiana, considered the queen of Philippine orchids found in Mindanao. This flower is valued not only for its beauty, but also for its rarity. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that at first glance may seem ordinary. A small piece of metal marked with 25 centavos minted in 1995, yet behind its humble size lies a story that stretches across centuries, a story of a nation's struggle for identity, its battles with colonial rule, its dreams of independence, its transitions through changing economies, and its desire to honor its heritage. This is not just a coin, it is a time capsule. The 25 centimo coin of 1995 belongs to the new design series of Philippine currency introduced by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas in the early 1980s, a series that marked a modernization in coinage after the turbulent years of the 1970s. The 25 centimo coin is particularly fascinating because it was more than small change. It was a representation of the Filipino everyday life during the mid-1990s when economic challenges, political shifts, and cultural pride defined the nation. Have you ever held a small coin in your hand and wondered if it could tell the story of an entire nation? Imagine a simple 25 centimo coin minted in 1995, a coin so small it could easily be overlooked in the bottom of your pocket or purse. Yet within this tiny circle of brass lies the memory of a people, their struggles, their triumphs, their heroes, and their dreams. This is not just loose change. This is a witness to history. This coin connects us to the story of Juan Luna, the brilliant Filipino painter and patriot whose image graces its obverse, a man whose brushstrokes carried the pain and hope of his people and whose spirit lived on in metal that passed from hand to hand in markets, in jeepneys, in classrooms, and in homes across the archipelago. The 25 centimo of 1995 circulated during a pivotal moment in Philippine history, when the nation stood at a crossroads between old challenges and new opportunities, when the economy was opening, when politics was shifting, when inflation was slowly erasing the power of small denominations. Yet the coin itself endured, carrying the symbols of national identity, proudly bearing the coat of arms of the Philippines and the proud title Republika ng Pilipinas. Every scratch, every worn edge, every fading shine is a story of the Filipino everyday life in the 1990s, and to explore this coin is to explore far more than its brass composition or its diameter. It is to explore the roots of Philippine money, from the barter rings of pre-colonial times to the silver pesos of the Spanish galleons, to the American-era mints, and the independent republic's quest to design a currency of its own. So before you dismiss this coin as something ordinary, prepare yourself for a journey, because what you are about to discover is the deep, untold story of the 25 centimo coin of 1995. A story that will take us from ancient trade to national heroes, from colonial struggles to independence, from art to economics, from the dreams of one man to the aspirations of an entire nation. This is not just numismatics. This is living history hidden in your pocket. To understand this coin, we must first look at the roots of Philippine currency in the pre-colonial period. Barter and trade dominated with gold, piloncitos and barter rings serving as the earliest forms of money. Spanish colonization in the 16th century brought cobs and reales. Then later, the Mexican silver peso, which circulated widely in the islands by the American period. The U.S. Philippine peso coins were struck in San Francisco, Denver, and Manila itself, with images symbolizing the new colonial relationship after independence in 1946. The Central Bank of the Philippines launched its own coinage to establish monetary sovereignty. Yet it was in 1983, under the new design series, that the 25 centimo we know in 1995 took its form. The obverse of the 25 centimo, 1995 coin features the profile bust of Juan Luna, one of the greatest Filipino painters and political activists of the late 19th century. His famous work, Spoliarium, became a symbol of the Filipino struggle under Spanish rule by placing Luna on the coin. The government was linking daily commerce with a sense of national pride. The reverse of the coin features the coat of arms of the Philippines with the sun, and 3 stars representing Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, along with the year of minting 1995 and the denomination Republika ng Pilipinas, above proudly declared national sovereignty. The technical specifications of the coin are equally significant. The 25 centimo of 1995 was struck in brass measuring 20 millimeters in diameter and weighing 3.6 grams. Its golden color was distinctive in daily transactions. It was light, easy to carry, and became a common companion in jeepney fares, bus rides, sari, store purchases, and public market transactions at a time when 25 centavos could still buy a small candy, a piece of bread, or contribute meaningfully to larger purchases. The 1995 mintage of this coin was part of the widespread production during the Ramos administration, when the Philippine economy was undergoing liberalization and reform. But to fully appreciate its historical place, we must consider the 1990s as a turning point in Philippine history. In 1992, Fidel V. Ramos became president after the dramatic years of Corazon Aquino. His government pushed modernization programs, privatization, and foreign investment initiatives. The 25 centimo coin of 1995 circulated in an environment of optimism, yet also challenges. Inflation was beginning to erode the value of small denominations, and although the coin remained in use, it was gradually becoming less powerful in buying capacity. This created a fascinating paradox. The coin remained important in theory, but in practice, its daily utility was shrinking. Collectors also view the 25 centimo 1995 with mixed perspectives. While it was minted in large numbers, making it not particularly rare, its historical context and its place in the larger story of the new design series make it desirable. The coin is often preserved in collections because of Juan Luna's portrait, and the brass composition which gives it a warm golden shine when well preserved. Numismatists classify its condition from circulated grades, where wear softens Luna's portrait, to uncirculated or proof-like strikes, which highlight every detail of his face, the lettering, and the coat of arms. If we trace the broader symbolism of Juan Luna on this coin, we connect to the Filipino nationalist movement of the late 19th century. Luna, along with Jose Rizal, Marcelo H. del Pilar, and others, was part of the propaganda movement seeking reform and freedom from Spain. His life story is one of brilliance, passion, and tragedy. His art inspired hope, his political engagement stirred debate, and his presence on the coin kept his legacy alive for millions of Filipinos handling currency daily. Thus, the 25 centimo 1995 is not only a means of exchange, it is also a miniature monument to a revolutionary artist. The coin's design also fits into the evolution of Philippine numismatics. As the 1990s approached, the BSP began to consider the future of the new design series. Eventually, this would lead to the launch of the BSP series in 1995, the same year the coin was minted. Although the 25 centimo denomination continued its journey until later demonetization in 2018, the mid-1990s, coins marked the twilight of one era and the dawn of another. To visualize the impact of the 25 centimo coin in 1995, one can imagine the daily lives of Filipinos, a student in Manila counting coins for jeepney fare, a mother in Cebu handing over a handful of coins for vegetables at the palengke, a child in Davao eagerly buying sweets from a sari-sari store. Each transaction may seem small, but each was powered by the humble centimo coins that kept the wheels of commerce turning. By the end of the 1990s, the coin's role continued to diminish as inflation grew stronger, yet its legacy remains powerful today. Collectors treasure it as a piece of cultural heritage. Historians see it as a reflection of the Philippine identity, and ordinary Filipinos remember it as part of their everyday lives. When you hold a 25 centimo coin from 1995, you are holding more than brass. You are holding history, art, economics, and national pride. You are holding a piece of a nation's story that continues to inspire and remind us that even the smallest coin can carry the weight of a country's heritage. Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered what kind of story it carries with it? What kind of journey it has taken through the years, and how much of a nation's history is engraved on its small circular surface? Today we will unfold the story of the Philippine 25 centimo coin issued in 1998, a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance, but one that carries decades of history, culture, economy, and symbolism within its copper-plated steel surface. The 25 centimo coin of 1998 belongs to the new BSP series, a redesign of Philippine coinage that was introduced after the creation of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas in 1993, which replaced the Central Bank of the Philippines. This shift in coinage marked not just a change in design but also a transformation in the identity of the Philippine currency system. The new BSP series was rolled out to reflect the modernization of the central bank and to present a cleaner, more uniform, and more recognizable currency set. To the people of the nation, the 1998 issue of the 25 centimo coin was part of this modernization drive and carried with it both historic references and forward-looking design features. The coin itself was minted in copper-plated steel, giving it a distinct golden hue that made it stand out among lower denomination coins. Its size, weight, and metallic composition were carefully chosen for economic reasons, as the Philippines sought to balance durability with affordability in minting. The obverse design of the 1998 25 centimo coin featured a profile bust of Juan Luna, the celebrated Filipino painter, sculptor, and political activist whose artistry and patriotic spirit made him one of the great figures of Philippine history. Juan Luna's inclusion on the coin was not only an honor to his contribution in the late 19th century, but also a symbol of national pride at a time when the Philippines was shaping its cultural and economic identity for the 21st century surrounding. His portrait were inscriptions indicating Republika ng Pilipinas and the year of minting 1998, both elements grounding the coin in its time and place of origin. On the reverse side, the coin displayed the logo of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, which itself was a modernized emblem representing the newly established independent central bank. The BSP logo, with its stylized sun and stars, was not simply a design flourish, but a reminder of the nation's financial independence and the constitutional creation of a stronger central monetary authority. It reflected the Philippines' desire to present itself as a growing and stable economy ready to engage with the wider world in the late 20th century. The production of the 1998 25 centimo coin came at a time when inflation and economic reforms were shaping the everyday use of small denomination coins for ordinary Filipinos. Although 25 centavos did not hold great purchasing power by the late 1990s, it remained a useful unit for public transport fares, vending machines, and small-scale trade in markets and sari-sari stores. In fact, the wide circulation of the 25 centimo coin reflected the importance of even the smallest values in a country where microtransactions formed the lifeblood of local economies. The coin, therefore, was not just a piece of currency, but a daily tool in the hands of millions shaping their transactions and interactions. Collectors and numismatists often view the 1998 issue as a significant marker, because it represents the middle period of the new BSP series, which lasted from 1995 until 2017, before being replaced by the new generation currency coin series. This makes the 1998 25 centimo coin both historically relevant and collectible. especially when preserved in uncirculated or proof-like condition in the collector's market condition and rarity-determined value, while circulated examples of the 1998 25 centimo remain common pristine examples, in mint state can be sought after by coin enthusiasts, both in the Philippines and abroad. When analyzing the historical significance of this coin, we must also look at the context of the Philippines in 1998. It was a year of transition in leadership as Joseph Estrada assumed the presidency succeeding Fidel Ramos, and the economy faced both regional and domestic challenges. The Asian financial crisis of 1997 had a profound effect on many Southeast Asian nations, and the Philippines felt the impact in its banking sector, currency stability, and public confidence. Yet amid these challenges, the coinage system remained stable and consistent, with the 25 centimo coin continuing its role in circulation. This is where its story takes on a broader meaning, for even in times of crisis, the smallest coin can represent stability, continuity, and resilience. The 1998 25 centimo coin may be a minor denomination, but its design, its issuance, and its daily use make it a living artifact of Philippine history. Each coin that changed, hands in a jeepney fare box, each coin that passed through a sari-sari store, each coin that was dropped into a church collection box, all carried with it the emblem of the Republic, the memory of Juan Luna, and the authority of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. In this way, the 25 centimo coin became not just a piece of metal, but a daily reminder of national identity and cultural pride. To extend this understanding, we can look into the evolution of Philippine coinage and how the 25 centimo 1998 fits into the wider narrative. Coinage in the Philippines has long been a reflection of colonial histories, economic transitions, and cultural milestones from the Spanish era to the American Commonwealth and into the post-independence republic. Every change in political power was reflected in the coins minted and circulated by the state. The 25 centimo of 1998 stands firmly in the post-colonial era, representing a sovereign nation choosing its heroes, its emblems, and its national direction. The choice of Juan Luna on the obverse was deeply symbolic, for Luna was not just an artist, but also a revolutionary whose work and life represented the struggle for independence from colonial rule, placing him on the coin-linked modern Filipinos in the late 1990s to their 19th century forebears who fought for freedom. The coin's metallurgy copper-plated steel was another reflection of modern minting practices. The shift away from more expensive metals such as bronze or nickel into steel-based alloys was part of a global trend in the late 20th century to reduce minting costs while maintaining durability. The golden color of the 25 centimo also made it easy to distinguish from other coins in circulation, helping ordinary Filipinos quickly identify values in everyday transactions. This consideration of practicality demonstrates how coin design must balance aesthetics, symbolism, and utility in order to serve the needs of a nation, from the perspective of circulation. The 25 centimo coin in 1998 was widely used, though gradually over the years, inflation would diminish its significance by the 2000s. Its value in actual purchasing power declined, but its symbolic importance remained strong, particularly for those who collected or studied coins. Numismatists categorize it as part of the new BSP series, with distinguishing features that separate it from earlier Flora and Fauna series coins of the 1980s and early 1990s. Its modernized portrait-style cleaner text and national emblem made it an unmistakable representative of late 20th century Philippine coinage. When you think about it, each 25 centimo coin, minted in 1998, carries more than just 25 centavos of value. It carries the story of Juan Luna's artistic genius. It carries the authority of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. It carries the resilience of the nation during the Asian financial crisis, and it carries the memories of millions of daily transactions from the past. 2 decades, what might seem like a small and insignificant coin becomes upon closer inspection a miniature time capsule, a witness to history and a symbol of national identity. And so the 25 centimo coin of 1998 reminds us that history is not only written in books or monuments, but also in the small everyday objects that pass from hand to hand unnoticed but powerful in their quiet way. Coins like these are the storytellers of nations, silent yet enduring their value far beyond their face. The story of the 25 centimo coin issued in the year 2004 is more than just the account of a small denomination of currency. It is a journey through the economic, political, and cultural fabric of the Philippines, and how a coin that many people often overlook can serve as a window into the history of a nation and its people. The 2004 25 centimo coin belongs to the BSP series of coinage, which had been introduced by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas beginning in the early 1990s as part of a larger reform in the Philippine monetary system. The BSP series was a modernization step after the demonetization of the old Flora and Fauna series and the introduction of a new standard that would reflect national heroes, symbols of independence, and motifs of progress. The 25 centimo coin is crafted in brass-plated steel, giving it a distinct golden color that often caught the eye despite its low value in the hierarchy of Philippine coinage. In 2004, the coin continued the design that had been used since 1995 on its obverse. It carried the portrait of Juan Luna, the celebrated Filipino painter, revolutionary, and political activist. Juan Luna was not merely an artist, but a symbol of the Filipino struggle for identity and nationhood in the late 19th century. His famous works, such as the Spoliarium, became icons of resistance against colonial rule, and it is fitting that his likeness was chosen to represent a coin that circulated in the everyday lives of millions of Filipinos. The reverse of the coin displayed the official seal of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, a modern emblem adopted in 1993, when the central bank was re-established after the reforms of the Cory Aquino administration. This seal stood as a symbol of stability and financial independence, and the date 2004, clearly inscribed, marked the year of minting, along with the denomination of 25 centimo. The inclusion of such national icons on small value coins was a deliberate choice because the Philippine government and its monetary authorities wanted even the most modest denomination to carry educational and patriotic value. To understand the significance of the 2004 25 centimo coin, one must look at the broader context of the Philippine economy. In the early 2000s, the nation was experiencing challenges in terms of inflation, political transitions, and the global economic shifts brought about by trade liberalization and technological change. The value of 25 centimo in 2004 was not high. It was considered a fractional coin used mainly for change in public transportation, sari-sari stores, and daily market transactions. Yet its circulation ensured that millions of Filipinos carried with them a piece of history, a portrait of Juan Luna, a reminder of the sacrifices made for independence, and a seal that represented the authority of the central bank. The 25 centimo coin, minted in 2004, was produced at the security plant complex of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, located in Quezon City. This facility was responsible for striking and minting coins and printing banknotes, ensuring that the currency supply met the demands of commerce and trade. The mintage numbers of this specific year were part of a continuous production that sought to address the needs of small transactions, because in a cash-driven economy, like the Philippines in 2004, coins of small denomination played an indispensable role, even though many people undervalued them. When analyzing the details of this coin, one must also look at the numismatic perspective. Collectors around the world consider the BSP series coins as transitional pieces between the older designs and the newer new generation currency coinage that would eventually be released in 2018, the 2004 25 Centimo coin represents a midpoint in this timeline. It carries the weight of tradition in honoring national heroes, and it reflects the economic reality of its era, when small coins still mattered in daily life, while also standing at the edge of a coming change where inflation and modernization would slowly erode the usefulness of such low denominations. From a cultural standpoint, the coin reminds us of how Filipinos valued history. Juan Luna as a figure symbolized intellectual and artistic excellence. His life was full of triumphs and controversies. His political involvement, his conviction in Europe for the tragic crime of passion, and his eventual recognition as one of the greatest Filipino painters show the complexity of national heroes. Placing him on the 25 centimo coin ensured that every person handling that coin was unconsciously reminded of the depth of Filipino identity. The 2004 coin also reflects the production technology of its time. The brass-plated steel material was not chosen by accident. It provided durability, lower production costs, and a distinct appearance. However, these coins were prone to corrosion and discoloration over time, and many 25 centimo coins from that year now show signs of age, making uncirculated or well-preserved pieces more valuable to collectors who specialize in Philippine coinage. If we think of this coin in terms of its buying power in 2004, it could purchase items in small local markets, perhaps a single piece of candy or a portion of goods when added together with other coins. And yet its role was not merely transactional, it was educational. It carried the imagery of Luna. It displayed the national seal. It reminded citizens of the central bank's role, and it offered foreigners who encountered it during travel or business a glimpse into Philippine national pride collectors who seek the 2004 25 centimo coin. Today, look for features such as mint luster, sharpness of strike, and the absence of wear or damage. The coin is often traded in bulk because its face value is low. But within numismatic circles, coins from this year can be valued higher depending on their condition and whether they represent mint errors or rare variants. Some reports exist of misstrikes off-center, minting, or planche flaws in the BSP series coins. And when such errors are found in the 2004 25 centimo, they can command collector premiums far above the face value. The coin also has a psychological and symbolic weight for many Filipinos. It is part of childhood memories of receiving loose change from parents for jeepney rides or from a tindahan. After buying small items, it is the sound of coins clinking in a glass jar. It is a reminder of a time when even the smallest denomination mattered and was respected as part of the currency system today, with inflation and the rising cost of goods. The 25 centimo has nearly vanished from circulation, making the 2004 issue not only a historical artifact, but also a nostalgic object to produce. A 2-hour exploration of this coin, one could expand on the biography of Juan Luna, dive into his contributions to Philippine art and nationalism. Explore the history of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas from its original establishment in 1949 through its reorganization in 1993 to its modern operations. Detail the technical aspects of coin minting and material science, and finally examine the socio-economic conditions of the Philippines in 2004 that shaped how coins were used and valued in everyday life. This is not just about a coin, it is about a story that bridges art, economics, politics, and memory. Imagine holding a coin that may seem so small and so ordinary, yet it carries with it the story of an entire nation, a story of struggle, resilience, change, and identity. This is the 25 centimo coin of the Philippines, minted in the year 2009, a coin that most people pass over without even a glance. But in truth, it is a piece of history, shaped by economics, politics, culture, and the ever-shifting narrative of the Filipino people. Today, we will uncover the hidden journey of this coin, the reasons behind its design, the meaning of its symbols, the weight of its legacy, and how it fits into the bigger puzzle of Philippine coinage and national history. The 25 centimo coin of 2009 belongs to the series of coins known as the BSP series, issued by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas beginning in 1995 and lasting until 2017. This was a period of modernization in Philippine currency and an effort to bring a consistent look and feel to coins that represented the values of the nation. The 25 centimo, in particular, was minted in brass-plated steel, giving it a golden yellowish appearance designed to stand out among other denominations and provide practical use in the daily lives of the people. It was lightweight, round, and modest in size, yet distinct enough to be recognized instantly when placed beside the smaller 5 or 10 centimo coins, on the obverse side of the 2009 25 centimo coin. You find the national identity of the Philippines proudly displayed at the center is the symbol of the Republic, the official seal of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, which by then had already established itself as the independent central banking authority of the nation since its creation in 1993. The presence of the BSP seal was not just decorative but rather a message of stability and financial independence, because the central bank held the duty of safeguarding the currency, ensuring monetary stability, and guiding the economic direction of the Philippines. Around the coin, the words Republika ng Pilipinas are inscribed, honoring the sovereignty of the nation and reminding every Filipino that this small piece of currency was not just an object of trade, but a token of national pride. The year marked 2009 is engraved below standing as a timestamp that links the coin to the specific year of its striking, a year that in itself carried unique economic and political significance for the Philippines. On the reverse side, the coin features a symbol deeply tied to Filipino history and identity. The catman flower, scientifically known as Dillenia philippinensis, chosen as part of the Flora series of Philippine coins. The inclusion of this flower was not accidental. It represented the abundance of natural beauty within the islands, the richness of biodiversity, and the pride in native species that could be found nowhere else in the world. By placing the catman on the coin, the Philippines sent a message to its people and to the international stage that its heritage was not only political and cultural, but also deeply rooted in the land and nature itself. The design offered a balance between national symbolism and natural pride, making the coin more than a mere instrument of commerce. In terms of size, the 25 centimo, 2009, measured about 20 millimeters in diameter and was relatively light at around 2 grams. These practical dimensions were chosen to make the coin easily recognizable, yet inexpensive to mint. The brass plating was both for visual appeal and resistance to corrosion, allowing the coin to last longer in circulation while still being affordable to produce the golden shine, made it appealing in the eyes of collectors, even though its face value remained small and modest. The year 2009 was a particularly important period in Philippine history. The nation was facing a series of economic challenges and global pressures, including the aftershocks of the 2008 world financial crisis. The peso remained relatively stable, but inflation and unemployment placed pressure on households. Coins, like the 25 centimo, played a critical role in everyday transactions, especially in transport, small purchases, and change, giving the coin an invisible but constant role in daily survival. While other denominations, such as the peso coins or the banknotes, carried more prestige. It was the centavos that kept the economic wheels turning in markets, jeepney fairs, and corner stores. The 25 centimo was essential. Beyond its face value, the coin also represents an era of Philippine numismatics. The BSP series was often criticized for its uniform golden color scheme across multiple denominations, which sometimes led to confusion among the public. Still, the series represented a transition from older designs that featured national heroes toward a cleaner modern look that emphasized flora and official seals. This change was both practical and symbolic, reflecting a desire for a fresh national image while still respecting elements of tradition. The catman Flower was an attempt to ground the series in cultural uniqueness and natural pride. Collectors of Philippine coins often regard the 2009 25 centimo as a common coin in terms of mintage since it was struck in the millions. However, its significance grows when viewed as part of a historical narrative because each mintage year holds unique meaning for historians, numismatists, and cultural researchers. A 2009 coin connects directly to the last decade of the early 21st century, a period that saw rapid technological growth, increased global trade, and ongoing political shifts within the Philippines. Owning a coin from this year becomes a way of holding history in the palm of your hand. The circulation of the 25 centimo gradually declined in relevance as years passed, and inflation reduced the practical buying power of centavo coins. Many Filipinos would begin to disregard or even refuse coins of such small denominations by the late 2000s and early 2010s. Still, the Bangko Sentral pushed for their continued circulation as part of the official legal tender. Maintaining their role in commerce and in accounting systems, the coin, in effect, symbolized the tension between economic reality and the official value of money. It showed how public perception and government policy sometimes stood apart in the realm of currency usage. Looking deeper, the 25 centimo 2009 is also a cultural artifact. Coins in the Philippines are not only economic tools but also carriers of collective memory. The choice of design elements communicates the story of who Filipinos were at that time. In history, a nation modernizing yet still tied to its roots, a people struggling with economic challenges yet celebrating natural beauty and national pride. Through their coinage in the classroom, the workplace, the marketplace, the coin was present everywhere, silently recording every exchange and every transaction. As time went on, the coin was eventually replaced when the BSP introduced the new generation currency coin series beginning in 2018. The new designs eliminated the Catman flower, replacing it with a simpler, more streamlined look, featuring the BSP logo alone. The old 25 centimo of 2009 was gradually withdrawn from circulation, but for collectors, historians, and everyday Filipinos, it remains a reminder of an era of design choices and national symbolism now preserved in collections and in the memories of those who use them daily. So when you hold a 25 centimo 2009 coin in your hand, you are not just holding a piece of metal, you are holding a story of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, a reflection of the economic landscape of 2009. A celebration of Filipino natural heritage through the Catmon flower, a marker of national pride through the seal and the Republic inscription, and above all, a silent witness to countless everyday exchanges that shaped the lives of millions. The year is 1996, and in the heart of Southeast Asia, the Philippines issues a coin that many overlook, but which numismatists now regard as a key to understanding modern coin transitions, political symbolism, and rare value convergence. The 1 Piso coin of 1996 is more than just currency. It is history engraved in metal, shaped by power, driven by change, and molded under the legacy of two republics, with one vision: economic independence and national identity. To understand this coin, we must journey back, not only to 1996, but also to the origins of the Philippine currency system. We look at the American colonial period when the U.S. first introduced centralized minting systems to the islands. This influence lasted decades, affecting the designs, alloys, sizes, and language on coins. The 1 Piso denomination was born in this backdrop and grew under multiple political transformations, including independence from the United States and post-war economic restructuring. By 1996, the Philippines had already released several versions of the Piso coin, but the 1996 variant stands out for one major reason: it was one of the final coins to feature the classic design of Jose Rizal, facing left with the inscription Republika ng Pilipinas, before a shift in metallic composition and imagery was introduced in later years. The design of the 1996 coin is rooted in national symbolism. Rizal represents the intellectual spirit and revolutionary soul of the Filipino people, and having his profile on the coin during this year carried deep meaning, especially in the lead-up to the centennial of Philippine independence in 1998. The coin was minted in copper nickel and has a diameter of 24 millimeters and a weight of 5.35 grams. Its reverse side features the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas logo, a powerful mark that signifies economic authority and national monetary policy. What's fascinating is that the 1996 coin was produced at a time when coin quality and consistency were under scrutiny, leading to multiple varieties and minor errors, which now attract collectors who understand the hidden value of anomalies. In-depth analysis reveals three major areas that make the 1996 1 Piso coin special rarity mintage context and collector impact. The mintage figures of this coin are relatively high, with tens of millions in circulation, yet not all coins survived due to the melting down of coins with higher metal value than face value and the shift towards smaller, lighter bimetallic coins. In the early 2000s, many coins of this era, including the 1996 version, were either withdrawn from circulation, lost, or degraded due to climate conditions, making high-grade specimens extremely desirable among collectors. Error coins from 1996 are another vital focus. These include off-center strikes, doubled dies, weak strikes, rim clipping, and misaligned dies, which are not just technical flaws, but artistic accidents. Each of them gives the coin a unique fingerprint, making it a one-of-a-kind piece in the world of numismatics. For example, the most sought-after 1996 1 Piso error coin is the double strike, which gives the illusion of a ghost image on either side of the coin and sells for hundreds of dollars depending on condition. We also look at the role of the 1996 coin in currency transition. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas was reformed in 1993, but it took a few years to standardize and modernize the coinage system. By 1996, the central bank had started experimenting with design security and alloy composition strategies that would eventually lead to the new generation currency coin series, which would change the look and feel of the Piso coin forever. Thus, the 1996 coin represents the tail end of an era, and collectors often classify it as the last true traditional 1 Piso before the modern bimetallic designs took over in 2017. Now we dive into the collector's market. The value of a circulated 1996 1 Piso coin ranges from face value to about $1 to $2, depending on where. However, uncirculated and error coins fetch significantly more, especially those graded by PCGS or NGC in MS65 or higher. A coin with a perfect strike-clean surface and sharp rim can attract bids from collectors across Asia, Europe, and North America, especially if it includes provenance, such as being part of an old central bank vault or private collection. We also explore regional numismatic events where the 1996 Piso plays a surprising role in auctions for Southeast Asian currency. The coin is often used as a benchmark to compare circulation quality across years. Some regional collectors from Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore actively pursue this coin, not only for its beauty, but also because it fits a larger narrative of post-colonial currency development in ASEAN. Beyond physical properties and market value, the 1996 1 Piso coin has cultural depth. It was used in countless transactions, from public jeepneys to street vendors, school lunches to church donations. This coin passed through the hands of millions, each carrying memories and stories, making each surviving coin a vessel of lived experience. The coin is a storyteller, and those who study it are listening not just with eyes, but with insight, curiosity, and respect. We then review public reactions to the demonetization of coins like the 1996 Piso, when they were eventually removed from legal tender status. The move sparked nostalgia and frustration among older generations who felt these coins held sentimental value beyond monetary worth. This emotion added an extra layer of reverence to the coin's legacy, making it not just metal but memory, frozen in time. As we approach the end of this journey, we realize the 1996 1 Piso coin was never just an object. It was a mirror of a nation in transition. It reflects the pressures of modern economy, the beauty of national pride, and the ongoing story of what money really means when it becomes a legacy. Today, the coin remains a favorite among those who understand its place in history, a bridge between past and future tradition and innovation. For those who own the 1996 1 Piso coin, you're not just holding currency, you're holding the past of a nation, the pride of a people, and a collector's treasure waiting to be preserved, respected, and passed on. Philippine coinage to the hands of global collectors. This story will change how you see loose change forever. The year was 1999. A pivotal moment in the numismatic history of the Philippines and beyond. As collectors turned their eyes toward Southeast Asia, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas was steadily advancing into a new era of coinage, and the 1 Piso coin stood at the center of that evolution. The 1999 1 Piso coin carries with it a story wrapped in history, tradition, national identity, and the subtle transitions that define an entire monetary era. The 1 Piso coin minted in 1999 is part of the BSP series, more formally known as the new BSP series, launched after the demonetization of the Flora and Fauna series that had run its course throughout the 1980s and 1990s. The Flora and Fauna series featured rich Filipino biodiversity. But times were changing, and the demand for more modern, durable, and efficient coinage systems gave birth to a new design direction. This new direction was embodied by a simple yet powerful approach to coin design, functionality, and production efficiency. The 1 Piso coin of 1999 features on its obverse the image of Jose Rizal, the Philippine national hero whose image symbolizes Filipino intellect, courage, resistance, and sacrifice. He remains one of the most important icons in the country's long and complex journey to independence and sovereignty. Jose Rizal's image on the coin was more than just a tribute. It was a statement about identity, nationalism, and educational progress. His firm gaze, chiseled features, and clean presentation offered a sense of strength and resolve that the nation continued to uphold. The name Jose Rizal is inscribed on the left with the mint year 1999 at the bottom. On the reverse side, the coin features the logo of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Introduced in 1993 when the central bank was reorganized under the new Central Bank Act, also known as Republic Act 7653. This new logo was not just a graphic change. It marked a major financial reform era for the Philippines. The presence of this logo on the 1999 1 Piso coin is crucial because it highlights a major institutional shift in the country's monetary policy and currency production strategies. The coin was made of nickel-plated steel, a sturdy metal combination that allowed for higher durability in circulation. This material choice reflected the practical economic considerations of the time, where high inflation in previous years and rising metal costs made brass or pure copper alloys less viable for mass production. The diameter of the coin was set at 24 millimeters with a thickness of 1.85 millimeters and a mass of approximately 5.35 grams. The edge was reeded, a feature that has long served both aesthetic and security purposes, making it harder to counterfeit and easier to authenticate by feel. The 1999 1 Piso coin circulated widely in the local market. It became a part of everyday life, from jeepney fare payments to sari-sari store purchases. Yet as years passed, many of these coins disappeared from active circulation, worn out, lost, or hoarded by early collectors. Looking ahead, the coin was quietly replaced by newer versions in the succeeding new generation currency series launched in the 2010s. This transition phased out many of the earlier BSP series coins, and the 1999 1 Piso started to become increasingly rare. What makes this coin particularly interesting to collectors is not just its design or era, but its position in the timeline of coin transitions. It represents a shift from older nationalistic imagery to more institutional representations from flora and fauna to people and policy. The 1999 1 Piso coin is often examined by collectors for mint errors like off-center strikes, die cracks, planche flaws, and weak edges. These minting anomalies are highly prized in the numismatic world, and some 1999 1 Piso error coins have fetched high values on collector markets, particularly if they remain in uncirculated or brilliant uncirculated condition. Packaging errors and coins found sealed in original BSP rolls or bank bags are also valued much higher than average specimens. The coin's value in today's collector market depends heavily on three key factors: condition, rarity, and demand. A coin in poor condition might only be worth face value, while one in mint condition or with certified mint errors could be worth several dollars or more among Filipino communities abroad, particularly in the United States, Canada, and the Middle East. Old Piso coins, like the 1999 version, carry both sentimental and monetary value, as these coins represent a piece of their homeland. Many overseas Filipinos seek them out, not just as collectibles, but as heritage tokens, often gifting them to younger generations as part of cultural storytelling in numismatic circles. The 1999 1 Piso coin holds a fascinating position as a bridge coin. It is not the earliest of the BSP coins nor the rarest, but it sits on the edge of change, making it essential for collectors looking to complete the transitional timeline of modern Philippine coinage. It bridges 2 centuries, 2 monetary policies, and 2 national visions. For some, the coin is a symbol of stability and economic reform. For others, it is a nostalgic reminder of the late 1990s and early 2000s, when life was shifting toward globalization and digitization. This is also reflected in the changing way Filipinos interacted with money, from physical to digital, from coins to cards, from cash to apps. The 1999 1 Piso coin reminds us of that moment before everything changed in terms of production numbers. The BSP has not released exact mintage figures for every year of the BSP coin series, but estimates suggest the 1999 1 Piso had a moderate production run, not the lowest but also not as common as the peak years of early 2000s. This makes it an interesting candidate for study and collection, especially in higher grades. Some collectors specifically look for the year 1999 to complete their decade collection or to pair with significant personal events like birth years, anniversaries, or important milestones. The numismatic value of this coin also ties into the legacy of Jose Rizal, whose writings, particularly Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, are still required reading in Filipino schools. His representation on coins has always been symbolic and meaningful, but the 1999 1 Piso continues to be one of the last circulating coins to honor him before newer designs phased out his image. This adds an extra layer of historical and cultural richness for those who seek depth in their collections. This coin is also frequently used in coin jewelry, as its size and image lend well to creative expressions of patriotism, art, and design. A number of Filipino designers use old Piso coins in pendants, bracelets, and keychains, bringing new life to old currency in creative and unexpected ways. In coin grading terms, collectors often seek MS-60 or higher examples from the 1999 batch slabbed coins, graded by organizations like NGC or PCGS. Holds significantly more value and can even attract international buyers. Rare varieties or error coins in these grades have been known to sell for over $10 to $15 or more in top condition. While this may seem modest in the world of coins, it is a strong increase over face value and shows growing demand for regional numismatics globally. Coin shows held in Manila, Cebu, and Davao regularly feature stalls or traders offering classic Piso coins, and the 1999 issue is often discussed as a solid entry point for beginner collectors because of its transitional importance and rich background. Social media and YouTube have also fueled a resurgence in interest around coins like the 1999 1 Piso, with channels showcasing pocket finds, hidden gems, and coin collecting tips. Many young Filipinos are rediscovering the value of coins that were once in their pockets, as children learning how to identify rare features, understand coin grading, and even start online businesses around numismatics. The 1999 1 Piso coin thus lives on not only in coin albums and jewelry boxes, but in stories, communities, and educational platforms worldwide. It is more than just currency. It is a piece of national memory, a coin with character and context, a humble but significant artifact from a time not so far behind, yet full of stories that need to be told. Numismatic fascination. This coin speaks of a nation's resilience of its people and the silent journey of currency through markets. Hands, generations, and forgotten drawers stay with us as we reveal the full life of the 1 Piso 2002 coin, from its birth in the minting chambers to the rarest versions found today. This is not just a coin. This is a living archive of history, and you are about to witness every detail. In the early years of the 21st century, the Philippines stood at a crossroads, politically, economically, and culturally. The world was moving fast. The global economy was shifting. Alliances were changing. And in the heart of Southeast Asia, the Philippine archipelago was facing its own internal transitions. And this period saw the continuation of a national identity carved into its currency, especially the 1 Piso coin of 2002. This coin was more than just metal. It was a symbol of value, trust, and everyday survival for millions of Filipinos. Minted by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, the 1 Piso coin of 2002 became a staple in daily transactions. It was made of nickel-plated steel, a change from earlier compositions designed to extend the coin's life, reduce production costs, and resist corrosion. As the Philippines adapted to modern minting technologies, the 2002 Piso reflected this evolution. Its durability and weight became markers of a new era in Filipino coinage. On the obverse side of the 2002 1 Piso coin stands the bold image of the national hero Jose Rizal, his gaze focused forward, symbolizing vision, courage, and patriotism. His name, inscribed in capital letters, became a reminder of sacrifice and hope for a stronger Philippines. The year 2002, engraved at the bottom, marked the beginning of the coin's journey through markets, sari-sari stores, jeepney fares, and beyond it, became a silent witness to everyday life across the islands. The reverse side bore the official seal of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, established in 1993 with its iconic 3 stars and a sun symbolizing unity, freedom, and sovereignty. The presence of this seal on the coin reinforced trust in the national currency and promoted a strong economic identity. The simple yet powerful design choices made the 1 Piso coin easy to identify, functional, and widely accepted in all types of transactions, from buying a piece of candy to giving exact fare on a bus. What makes the 2002 version particularly interesting to collectors today is not just its age, but the variations in minting over time. Some coins from this batch were struck more cleanly than others. Some may show rare die errors or striking anomalies that increase their value in numismatic. Circles coins with off-centered strikes, double dies, or rotated designs are considered collectible and, in rare cases, highly valuable depending on condition, rarity, and demand. This period in coin production also marked a crucial time when counterfeiting concerns led to tighter control over coin standards. The 2002 1 Piso coin had to meet strict specifications for diameter, thickness, edge reading, and weight, typically around 6 grams with a diameter of 23 millimeters. These details are critical to identifying genuine specimens and distinguishing them from lower-quality copies or tokens. Collectors often examine coins under magnification, looking for minor details that separate ordinary circulation coins from rare variants. The presence of die cracks, planchet flaws, and minting irregularities can turn an everyday coin into a sought-after piece, and the 1 Piso, 2002. Coin is no exception. Every scratch, tone, or blemish tells part of its story. Every flaw adds to its personality. The 1 Piso coin also serves as a window into the Philippine economy. During the early 2000s, inflation, trade, and local purchasing power all influenced how coins circulated and how often they were minted. Coin production numbers tell us which years had higher demand and which saw shortages. 2002 had a moderate minting volume, which means, while it is not the rarest date in the series, it holds historical weight and remains a crucial year for the modern Piso series. As we explore deeper, we uncover stories of coin hoarding, public reactions to coin redesigns, and the ongoing debate about phasing out smaller denominations for cost efficiency. The 1 Piso coin of 2002 sat at the center of this evolving conversation. It remained stable, widely used, and respected, even as smaller. Denominations like the 5 and 10 centavo coins faded from daily use. In collector markets today, the 1 Piso 2002 coin can fetch varying prices depending on condition. Those in uncirculated or mint state condition, with no scratches, sharp rims, and full luster, are valued higher. Some specimens graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC can go for several dollars or more, especially if they show rare traits. Meanwhile, circulated examples may be worth just face value, but still hold interest for beginner collectors. Continue this journey with a detailed breakdown of grading systems, coin condition categories, proper storage techniques, market trends, auction results, and even interviews with coin experts who discuss how the 2002 1 Piso fits into the broader world of global numismatics. The 2-hour deep dive will not only honor this humble coin, but help collectors, historians, and viewers appreciate its full legacy. Now let us dive deeper into how the coin compares with other versions minted. In nearby years, the 1 Piso series from the early 2000s maintained a relatively consistent design, but subtle changes in font spacing, alignment, and surface finish help specialists date and verify coins more accurately. The 2002 version in particular often carries a slightly stronger strike than its 2001 predecessor and is considered more balanced in terms of weight and wear resistance. Additionally, the global context of coinage in 2002 shows how nations around the world were experimenting with similar materials and minting strategies. Countries like Canada, Malaysia, and Mexico were also using nickel-plated steel and improving their minting accuracy to reduce cost and prevent wear. The Philippines was part of this broader movement, making the 1 Piso coin a representative of global economic adaptation in the early 21st century. We must also mention the role of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas as an institution of monetary authority. The bank has the power to redesign, recall, and replace currency, and in 2002, they made clear efforts to keep coins modern, durable, and efficient, while preserving national pride and trust in the currency. The 1 Piso coin was never just a tool for trade, it was a symbol of financial order, a representation of government responsibility and public reliance. Collectors today often build full-year sets of 1 Piso coins, tracking every variation across decades. Some create custom albums for display, while others pursue high-grade certification for resale or legacy building. This passion for preserving coinage is not just about profit. It is about storytelling, heritage, and a tangible connection to the past. Continue with us as we explore the market landscape, the trends of online auctions and social media groups where Filipino and international collectors trade, discuss, and celebrate these coins. We will cover how grading fees affect value, how to ship coins safely, how to verify authenticity, and how to distinguish between genuine mint errors and damage from circulation. Stay with this video as we break down coin anatomy, including fields, rims, edges, devices, and legends, so that even beginner collectors can learn how to identify coin quality and hidden gems. We will also share tips from veteran collectors on cleaning storage and long-term preservation without damaging the original coin surface. And finally, we will touch on the future of coins, like the 1 Piso of 2002, as digital payments grow and mobile wallets become more common. Physical coins may see reduced circulation, but their cultural and collectible value continues to rise for those who understand their importance. The 1 Piso coin is not fading into history, it is becoming a legacy. We are diving deep into the world of numismatics to explore the long-forgotten but historically significant 1 Piso coin from the year 1989. This episode will take you on a detailed journey through the background of this coin, its production history, its role in the Philippine economy, and global coinage influence the numismatic design elements that mark its identity. The metallurgical composition, minting process, circulation life rare, varieties, and collector value over time. This is not just any coin. It is a coin that tells a deeper story of a country in transition, a symbol of national identity and a relic of the changing tides in monetary policy in Southeast Asia. Now sit back and get ready as we explore everything you need to know about the 1989 1 Piso coin in a way that is professional, extensive, and educational. The story of the 1 Piso 1989 coin begins in the broader context of Philippine economic history as the Philippines transitioned into a modern post-Marcos republic. The need to stabilize its monetary system was urgent, following years of inflation, political instability, and economic challenges. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, or the Central Bank of the Philippines, took strategic steps to issue new coinage that represented modernization, national pride, and economic recovery. In the late 1980s under the New Design series. Introduced in 1983, the 1 Piso coin was redesigned to reflect both heritage and progress, and in 1989 this coin carried more weight than ever, symbolically and economically. The obverse of the 1 Piso 1989 coin features a portrait of Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines. Born in 1861, Rizal was a polymath, a nationalist, a revolutionary, and an intellectual whose writings played a major role in inspiring the Philippine Revolution against Spanish colonial rule. His presence on the coin represents the continued aspiration of the nation for independence and justice. Above his portrait is the inscription Republika ng Pilipinas, which means Republic of the Philippines, and below is his name, Jose Rizal. This was not a random artistic choice, rather, it was a deliberate placement made by the coin designers to reaffirm the Filipino identity in an era that was increasingly influenced by global markets and foreign debt. The reverse of the coin contains the denomination 1 Piso and the year of minting 1989, along with the official seal of the Central Bank of the Philippines, which includes key imagery, such as the 3 stars and the sun, which are also present on the national flag. These symbols represent Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, the 3 major geographical divisions of the country, and the bright future envisioned for the nation. The seal is surrounded by a circular design that not only protects it from wear, but also serves as a form of aesthetic framing that elevates the status of the coin to that of a modern national emblem. Minted in nickel-plated steel, the 1 Piso coin of 1989 is both sturdy and economically viable. Its composition was selected to reduce cost while maintaining durability, which was crucial during a time when inflation and fluctuating metal prices made coin production a delicate financial balancing act. The coin weighs 5.35 grams and measures 24 millimeters in diameter with a reeded edge designed for anti-counterfeiting purposes. The reeded edge not only provided a tactile difference from other coins in circulation, but also discouraged shaving or clipping of the coin, which was a common problem in older monetary systems. The 1989 1 Piso was produced primarily by the BSP's minting facilities in Quezon City using advanced coining presses that allowed for consistent quality and higher volume production with the intention to support a growing economy and to replace older coins that were quickly becoming obsolete. The minting process involved multiple quality checks, die preparation, planche inspection, and precise striking pressure, all designed to deliver uniform coins that could withstand decades of use. This attention to detail in the minting process reflects a growing emphasis on national standards and quality control within Philippine industries. By the late 1980s, the Philippine economy was slowly regaining stability through reforms, foreign aid, and renewed investment confidence. The 1 peso coin played a significant role in day-to-day economic activities, being widely used in markets, jeepney fairs, sari-sari stores, and retail businesses across urban and rural areas alike. It was a coin of the people embedded in the daily lives of millions, used by street vendors and school children, wage earners, and business owners. Its presence was so consistent that it became more than a piece of metal. It became a cultural fixture that marked a specific time in Filipino history. The historical value of the 1989 1 peso coin also increases when considering global numismatic interest. International coin collectors have long been fascinated by the transitional periods in Southeast Asian coinage, and the 1989 1 peso stands out as a symbol of stability emerging from unrest for collectors looking for pieces with a strong backstory, historical context, and regional significance. This coin is a treasure over time. Certain varieties of the 1989 1 peso have become especially sought after due to minting errors, die cracks, misaligned strikes, or off-center. Stamping these mint errors significantly increase the value of the coin in the secondary market. As of today, circulated versions of the 1989 1 peso still exist in collections, though they are becoming rarer due to natural attrition, metal recycling, and government recall initiatives. Some uncirculated specimens still appear in auction houses and online marketplaces, and their value depends on condition, rarity, and specific mint characteristics. Coins graded by international services like PCGS or NGC with high grades are particularly valuable, especially if they exhibit unique features, such as strong strike, full details, and original luster. This coin is also notable for its place in the series evolution in the early 1990s. The new design series was eventually phased out to introduce the BSP series and later the new generation currency series. The 1989 1 peso represents a middle ground between the older stylized coins of the 1960s and the modern clean aesthetic of the 21st century. It bridges the gap between traditional nationalism and contemporary statecraft through its design, message, and usage. The coin thus serves as a chronicle of the nation's journey, both in monetary terms and national identity. We must also look at the role of coinage. In educational and symbolic terms for millions of Filipinos, the presence of Jose Rizal on the first peso became their first interaction with national history. His face was literally in the hands of the people. Young students learned his name even before they read his books. This passive form of education played a powerful role in nation building and identity formation. In fact, many Filipino adults today still recall their earliest memories of money through this very coin, making it a part of their personal history as well. The socio-political environment during the issuance of this coin also plays a vital role in its significance. Following the 1986 People Power Revolution that removed Ferdinand Marcos from power, the Philippines was undergoing a period of restructuring under President Corazon Aquino. Her administration emphasized democratic reforms, rebuilding institutions, and fostering national pride. The 1989 1 peso reflects these ideals. It is not just currency. It is a metal representation of a hopeful rebirth. It tells the story of an archipelago striving to find unity, progress, and dignity in the face of modern global pressures. In summary, the 1 peso coin from 1989 is a rich symbol of cultural resilience, political recovery, economic adaptation, and historical memory. Every line, every symbol, every choice in metal size, and design carries meaning that can only be understood when viewed within its proper historical and social context. It is a coin that once jingled in the pockets of millions and today rests in the cabinets of collectors and the memories of a nation. So the next time you come across a 1989 1 Piso, remember that you are holding more than currency. You are holding a tangible chapter of Filipino history, sealed in steel, minted in determination, and designed with national pride. Thank you for watching this complete journey through one of the most iconic coins in Southeast Asia. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Rare American Coins, for more incredible stories from the world of numismatics. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Rare American Coins, where we explore the hidden history, forgotten treasures, and surprising value of coins from all around the world. Today, we bring you another extraordinary journey into the world of numismatics as we uncover the long and detailed story behind the 1 Piso coin from the year 1985. A coin that has traveled through time, through history, and through the pockets of millions. This coin is more than just currency. It is a witness to the era. It belongs to a mirror of the Philippines' economy and an example of the global impact of coinage design, minting, and circulation. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we present to you a full-length professional history of the 1985 1 Piso coin from the Philippines that can take you through a 2-hour detailed story without missing a beat. The 1985 1 Piso coin from the Philippines stands as one of the last issues of its kind before major monetary reform would shift the design system and metal composition in years that followed. This coin represents the culmination of a historical period rooted in the presidency of Ferdinand Marcos and embodies a time of national and political transformation as well as economic challenge minted under the authority of the Central Bank of the Philippines, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. This coin was issued in a critical period of Philippine history marked by inflation, civil unrest, political instability, and the build-up to the eventual People Power Revolution of 1986. The 1985 1 Piso coin is part of the Flora and Fauna series, which was introduced in 1983 and ran until 1994. This series aimed to reflect the natural beauty and biodiversity of the Philippines while combining strong nationalistic themes with practical coinage. The obverse of the coin features the left-facing portrait of Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines, whose efforts in writing social commentaries and revolutionary works inspired the uprising against Spanish colonial rule. Surrounding his portrait are the words Republika ng Pilipinas and the year 1985, which marks its minting year. The portrait is not just symbolic but purposeful. It was chosen to reinforce national pride during an era when the country was struggling with its identity, direction, and governance. The reverse of the coin displays the denomination 1 Piso at the center, with a representation of the Philippine eagle known as the Pithecofaga Jeffrey I, which is one of the rarest and most powerful birds of prey in the world. Native only to the Philippines, this eagle serves as a symbol of strength, independence, and resilience. 3 qualities that were deeply needed and desired by the Filipino people in the mid-1980s. Surrounding the image of the eagle is the name of the issuing authority, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. The choice to use native fauna reflected the country's pride in its ecological heritage and its desire to promote conservation awareness, even in currency design. The metal composition of the 1985 1 Piso coin is copper-nickel, which gave it durability and a silvery appearance. The diameter of the coin is approximately 25 millimeters, and it weighs around 6 grams with a reeded edge to discourage counterfeiting. It was struck at the Royal Mint of the United Kingdom, as well as by local facilities, depending on minting agreements and production needs during that time. This period saw the Philippines still recovering from the oil crises of the 1970s, while also enduring political turmoil brought on by corruption, allegations, human rights violations, and increasing national debt under the Marcos administration. Economically, the early to mid-1980s were extremely challenging for the Philippines. The peso was experiencing devaluation, inflation rates were high, and unemployment was growing. Discontent was rising among the population, and the national government was heavily criticized for its extravagant spending and foreign loans. Amidst all this, the coinage system had to be both efficient and symbolic of strength. The issuance of coins like the 1 peso was therefore not merely economic, it had cultural and political implications too. Each coin was a message from the state to its citizens and to the world about resilience, order, and stability. In terms of circulation, the 1985 1 peso coin was widely used across the country. It was a staple in markets, transport fare, systems, and everyday transactions, making it one of the most familiar coins to the Filipino public. Its mass circulation also means it is commonly found in collections today, but pristine mint state versions are increasingly rare and valued among numismatists. Many collectors seek this coin not only for its design, but for what it represents historically and politically. In particular, coins that exhibit no wear with full detail are in demand, and some proof versions made for special collections are also highly prized. The legacy of this coin is also tied to its role during the transitional period that followed shortly after its minting. The assassination of opposition leader Benigno Ninoy Aquino Jr. in 1983 had set off waves of protest leading into the 1986 revolution. By the time the People Power movement succeeded in removing President Marcos in February 1986, this coin was still in daily use, but its era was ending. Coins issued after 1986 began to feature different symbols, different messaging, and a renewed national identity. The 1985 1 peso, therefore, serves as one of the last reflections of the Marcos period encapsulated in metal. In the world of numismatics, the coin's value today can vary based on condition, rarity, and mint origin, while circulated examples might hold modest value. Pristine examples can fetch higher prices, especially among historical collectors. Outside of the Philippines, many foreign collectors view this coin as a representation of Southeast Asia's political complexity during the Cold War era, and as such it becomes an item of international historical significance. In terms of production, mintage numbers for this coin were substantial, which allowed for wide distribution, but due to the passage of time, environmental wear, and the subsequent demonetization of earlier coins, the number of surviving high-grade examples has decreased dramatically. The coin ceased being legal tender after the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas demonetized many pre-1995 coins following the introduction of the new BSP series, which featured smaller, lighter, and more modern coinage as part of an overhaul of the currency system. The educational importance of the 1985 1 peso coin also cannot be overstated. Schools, collectors, museums, and historians often refer to it as an artifact of its time. It has become a teaching tool used to illustrate the political struggles, economic challenges, and social resilience of the Filipino people during the twilight years of dictatorship and the dawn of democracy. The coin has appeared in publications, documentaries, and online archives as part of studies on Philippine numismatics, history, and culture. To understand this coin fully is to understand a chapter in the ongoing story of a nation struggling toward justice, unity, and prosperity, from the symbolism of Jose Rizal to the strength of the Philippine eagle, from the harsh economic conditions to the political tremors that reshaped the nation. The 1985 1 peso coin tells a story deeper than its metal composition. It tells of a people enduring hardship, a government on the brink, and a future waiting to be claimed. Collectors who seek out this coin today are advised to inspect details like strike sharpness, edge, reading, mint luster, and the presence of any doubling or planche errors which may enhance its value. Error coins from this year, such as misstruck pieces or off-center strikes, can be of significant interest. Some 1985 1 peso coins also exist in commemorative packaging sold to collectors at the time, which now hold historical and market value. Whether you are a student of history, a coin collector, or simply someone intrigued by the stories, Objects Can Tell the 1985 1 Piso coin offers a deeply layered and meaningful experience. It is not just a coin, it is a cultural time capsule and a silent witness to one of the most transformative decades in Philippine history. So, as we reflect on the 1985 1 Piso coin, remember that its value lies not just in silver or in numbers, but in its ability to connect people to their past, to remind us that even the smallest objects can carry the weight of a nation's story, and to inspire us to keep collecting, remembering and honoring the legacy of coins across time. We explore the long and fascinating history behind the 1991 Piso coin from the Philippines, a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance, but carries a powerful story of national identity, economic reform, and cultural symbolism. The 1991 Piso was more than just money. It was part of a larger movement toward modernization and recovery in a country emerging from political transition. The coin was introduced during a time of national rebuilding just a few years after the fall of the Marcos regime and the rise of the democratic government under President Corazon Aquino. It represented the beginning of a new chapter for the Filipino people and their economy. The coin itself was minted in copper-nickel, a practical and reliable alloy, chosen for its resistance to corrosion and its durability in everyday use, at a diameter of about 25 millimeters and a weight of roughly 6 grams. The 1991 Piso was a convenient denomination for daily transactions. It was used by students, workers, commuters, and shopkeepers across the country every single day. On the obverse side of the coin, we find the image of Dr. Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines. His image had appeared on many coins and notes for decades, but his continued presence on this 1990 coin symbolizes the country's ongoing struggle for justice, education, and moral reform. Rizal is not only a figure from history, but also a symbol of wisdom. History, but also a symbol of wisdom, sacrifice, and change. The inscription Republika ng Pilipinas appears above his image, along with the mint year 1990, which tells us exactly when this piece was created by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. The reverse side of the coin features the bold number 1, representing its value in pesos, and just below it, we see the logo of the central bank. The seal includes details that represent stability, trust, and economic responsibility. The reverse design tells us this is not just a coin, but a promise from the national government to uphold the value and reliability of its currency in the year 1990. The Philippine economy was undergoing major adjustments as the government attempted to control inflation, attract foreign investment, and rebuild the country's financial institutions. The peso was gradually losing value due to inflation and international debt. But coins, like the 1 Piso, remained an essential part of everyday commerce. People used it for buying food, riding jeepneys, paying for school items, or making small donations in church. The coin was an integral part of life, not only in cities, but also in provinces, towns, and barrios across the nation. Despite being a high mintage coin, millions of pieces struck for wide distribution. The 1991 Piso has become a collector's item over time, primarily because many of them have disappeared from circulation. Collectors seek coins in good condition, especially those with minimal wear, strong details, and even some rare error coins, such as double strikes or off-center images. These varieties are highly desirable in the numismatic market and may be sold for significantly more than face value depending on the condition. Another reason this coin is so cherished is nostalgia. Many people today remember receiving it as part of their allowance or using it to buy snacks during childhood. It was the coin of everyday life, and these memories have added emotional value to what was once just loose change in your pocket in terms of global interest. The 1991 Piso has found its way into collections around the world, especially among those who collect Southeast Asian currencies or focus on post-colonial coinage from the 20th century. Since the coin does not contain precious metals, its value comes primarily from its history design condition and rarity of variations. When we talk about minting technology in the 1990s, the Philippine Mint was already using modern methods that improved coin uniformity, die consistency, and metal quality. This ensured that most of the coins struck had clear details and smooth finishes, which is why well-preserved examples still look sharp today. Even after decades of handling the cultural value of the coin is equally strong. Rizal's face on the coin served as a daily reminder of the country's history. Every time someone spent a peso, they saw the image of the man who had once dared to speak truth to power during colonial rule. He became not only a historical figure, but a part of everyday thought in Filipino society. This blending of economics and national pride is something that only currency can do over time. The 1990 coin saw competition from newer issues as the government released updated designs with modern fonts, enhanced security features, and revised artwork. In later series, still the original 1990 coin continued circulating well into the 2000s, especially in rural areas and among small businesses that preferred physical cash to digital methods. The shift to newer designs eventually led to the 1990 version becoming less visible in the market and more interesting for collectors. Uncirculated examples, graded MS-60, and above are becoming harder to find and are now often stored in numismatic folders, coin albums, or graded slabs depending on how well they were preserved for many collectors. A full set of post-EDSA Revolution coins from the late 80s and early 90s is incomplete without the inclusion of the 1991 Piso. As we explore coin history, we are reminded that money is not just a tool for exchange, but also a storyteller of human progress. The 1991 Piso tells the story of a country seeking direction. Regaining stability and celebrating its heroes through its currency, it reflects the values, challenges, and hopes of a people determined to grow, rebuild, and honor their identity through economic reform and cultural remembrance. Now, this coin may not make headlines, but its story is quietly powerful and deeply human. From minting machines to market stalls, from school children to presidents, from poverty to pride. The 1991 Piso coin has touched millions of lives and deserves its place in numismatic history, whether you collect coins for their history, their design, or their sentimental value. This coin is a worthy piece to study, understand, and preserve. So the next time you find one in your collection or stumble across it at a flea market, remember that you're holding more than just a coin. You're holding a chapter in a nation's journey. Thank you for watching. And stay with us on Rare American Coins as we continue to explore the hidden stories behind everyday currency from all over the world. Today, we take a deep journey into the Fern Piso coin of 1990 from the Philippines. Though it may not be American, this coin has caught the attention of collectors around the globe and holds great historical value for numismatists and coin lovers alike. So let us begin our professional deep dive into the background, design, minting, economic context, and collectible interests surrounding the 1991 Piso coin. This piece represents not only the currency system of the Philippines, but also a moment in time when the nation was transitioning economically, politically, and socially after the revolutionary events of the mid-1980s following the People Power Revolution and the restoration of democracy under President Corazon Aquino. The Central Bank of the Philippines. Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas began making reforms in fiscal and monetary policy. The 1991 Piso coin came into circulation during a period when inflation, currency, stabilization, and trade reform were major issues for the country. The coin is composed of copper-nickel, a durable and widely used alloy that was also applied to various denominations globally due to its corrosion resistance and moderate cost. The diameter is approximately 25 millimeters, with a mass around 6 grams, designed to be practical for everyday use and affordable to mint. The obverse of the coin features the portrait of Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines. His image had already been a familiar feature on Philippine banknotes and coins symbolizing patriotism, education and reform. Rizal's legacy as a writer-thinker and martyr continues to shape Filipino identity, and thus his presence on the coin carries cultural and nationalistic meaning. The inscription includes the word Republika ng Pilipinas, the issuing authority, and the mint year 1990. This side of the coin expresses national pride. Historical remembrance and continuity of identity on the reverse side is the face value of the coin 1 piso, accompanied by the official seal of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. As it appeared in that time, this design element reinforces the legitimacy of the coin as legal tender and represents the institution responsible for maintaining monetary stability. The presence of the central bank's seal shows the strong link between state institutions and the economy during this reformative era. The minting process of the first piso 1990 was managed under the Bangko Central's mint facilities located in Quezon City, which had improved production capacity by the late 1980s thanks to upgraded machinery and increased funding in response to demand for more durable circulating coinage. The use of copper-nickel helped address previous issues with corrosion in earlier coin series dating from the 1970s and early 80s in terms of mintage. Millions of these coins were produced for general circulation, making them common during their time of release. However, due to the passage of time inflation and the adoption of newer coin series, many of these 1990 issues have been pulled from daily use or hoarded by collectors, particularly those in uncirculated or mint condition, as we analyze the economic backdrop. It is important to note that the Philippine peso underwent gradual depreciation in the late 1980s into the early 1990s as part of the government's broader macroeconomic restructuring. The peso-dollar exchange rate shifted notably, making everyday commodities more expensive and increasing the reliance on coinage for low-denomination transactions. Coins like the 1 piso became central to everyday commerce used in public transportation, sari-sari stores, and street vending. Transactions in terms of international numismatic interest, the 1 piso 1990 coin has become a minor collectible outside the Philippines due to its historical context and cultural design. It holds sentimental value for members of the Filipino diaspora, particularly those who lived through the political transitions of the 1980s or emigrated around that period. Although it is not made of precious metals, it holds symbolic value and is often kept in private collections, or family mementos. Further adding to its interest is the legacy of José Rizal himself, whose writings and political execution by Spanish colonial authorities helped ignite Filipino nationalism and resistance. Rizal's global recognition among historical figures gives coins bearing his image an added layer of prestige, particularly among scholars and students of colonial history. When we look at market trends, the 1990 1 piso coin in average circulated condition does not fetch high prices, but rare variants such as misstruck coins, off-center strikes, double dies, and proof-like finishes can attract numismatists and command higher prices on platforms like eBay or through private collectors. These errors, although uncommon, are sought after, especially when graded by professional coin grading services, where condition, luster, and strike quality significantly influence value uncirculated. Examples graded MS-60 or higher tend to be sold in protective holders and may retail for several dollars, whereas circulated coins in average condition usually trade for their face value or slightly above among casual collectors. However, for those invested in Philippine coinage history, the 1990 1 piso serves as a keystone piece in late 20th century numismatics. Now let us explore the role of the coin in popular culture. During the early 1990s, the 1 piso coin was a regular part of childhood. Memories, school allowances, jeepney fares, and neighborhood transactions, making it an icon of everyday life. Several Filipino media references from television to literature describe situations involving this coin, especially during a time when 1 peso could still buy small goods or contribute meaningfully towards school supplies, snacks, or minor services. Teachers, parents, and store owners commonly referred to prices in terms of Piso, reinforcing the coin's psychological significance as a base unit of value. Educational campaigns also used the 1 Piso coin as an example when teaching youth about saving money through piggy banks and other means of financial discipline. Over time, the value of the coin in real purchasing power decreased, especially as inflation increased and higher denomination coins and banknotes became necessary. The government gradually introduced coin redesigns and updates, including the BSP coin series released in the late 1990s and early 2000s to reflect modernized themes, new security features, and updated designs. This gradual transition led to the old 1 Piso 1990 coin being slowly phased out but not officially demonetized until much later, when the new generation currency coin series was introduced. The coin's exit from circulation marked the end of an era, but also solidified its place as a nostalgic and historical item in the realm of Philippine currency. A closer examination of the coin's metallic content shows that although it holds no intrinsic metal value, its durability was intentionally chosen to reflect long-term usage. Copper-nickel coins are hard enough to withstand years of circulation and retain much of their appearance. Despite handling this allowed many 1990 1 Piso coins to remain in reasonably good condition even today, especially those stored away or found in old coin jars, drawers, and safety boxes today. Numismatists categorize this coin under modern Philippine coinage, but acknowledge its relevance in historical studies. Its inclusion in coin catalogs, regional exhibits, and academic research shows that it has educational value beyond its monetary worth. Now, as we close this in-depth journey into the 1990 1 Piso coin, we must remember that every coin tells a story. And this one speaks of a people rebuilding a nation, reasserting its identity, and moving forward into a new democratic chapter. Even a simple coin used in daily life becomes a silent witness to economic transitions, cultural pride, and national memory. This is why such coins deserve our attention, documentation, and preservation, and why I share them here on Rare American Coins. So stay tuned for more stories from coins around the world that carry meaning, history, and value beyond what is printed on their surface.